I'll never go back. It's amazing. It's the only thing that really, truly works. So that is what we're looking for, guys. This is the whole reason we're doing this. Do you see all that? Hey everybody, welcome back to Free to Grow. Thanks for watching our channel. Today I am going to be rendering some tallow, some beef fat, and getting it ready for making some moisturizer for the family. I think it's been maybe a year or 2 years now that we have been using rendered beef tallow as our lotion, and it is amazing. So I'm going to take you on that journey today. I actually already got everything in the crock pot, so I learned this method from Bumblebee Apothecary on YouTube. I'll have to link her video below because, again, that's where I learned my information. So you get everything into the crock pot and you add water because it's a wet method. So it's what helps it pull out all the impurities and make it more white and odorless. And I have found it to work very, very well. So I have 2 pounds of tallow in here that's already getting melted, so you can see. And I think I added maybe 3 or 4 cups of water, like at the most. And then probably about a tablespoon or so of salt. So she goes over in her video how the salt helps pull the impurities out, and then we put it in this bowl. So I've already done 1 render. I'm actually going to do it 3 times because last time I only did it twice, I think, and it didn't quite pull all the odor out, and I actually made some for my mom, and she really isn't a fan of the beef tallow, but it works. So she does use it even though she smells like beef. So hopefully I'll get the odor all out this time with a 3rd time around. So once this has been completed, which I put it on low on the 8-hour method on my crock pot, the 8-hour option in the crock pot with the lid off so that the gases, things can escape. And that was yesterday. So I kept stirring it, you know, every hour or 2. And then once I thought, okay, I better wrap this up for the day because it was on there like all day, I put it in this bowl. And you want a round bowl that's kind of large so that once it solidifies, the water separates and it falls to the bottom. So this is actually what was left from my first render. And man, I should have captured this on video because it's like a round puck. And then you turn it over and on the bottom is where the impurities fell to. So if they didn't quite escape in the water, which I'm going to throw this out, that's now trash water. Some of it does stick to the bottom of the tallow, the puck of tallow, so you scrape that off. But I'm going to show you that once we get this 2nd round going, and it'll be on here once it melts. I'll stir it for a few hours, do the same thing, and I'll show you what I do. But again, we're going to do that 3 times, so I thought I would take you guys along. And this is some I'll just show you from my last batch that I actually whipped up, and I infused it with whole leaf, like rose hip and lavender, like the actual plant, not essential oils. And it still smells really great. I actually leave a lot of it unscented for me and the baby. I use that on my face. I think even this stuff that's just infused with the whole plant makes my face break out, but the unscented does not. So I've seen some people, and I experimented myself when I bought tallow for the first time. It had essential oils in it, and I used it on my face, and my face broke out. So little tip, you need unscented, completely just plain tallow if you're going to moisturize your face with it. I'm going to leave this set, and I'll update you guys as we go. All right, it's been about an hour. And everything is melted, so I'm just going to give it a stir. I should probably mention that we are buying this from a local regenerative farm, and it's already rendered. So when they send their cattle to the processor, they are rendering the tallow that they give back to them that they then put in their shop. So the part where it's like raw fat from the cow and the gristly bits are having to be pulled out, that's already been done. And the way we buy it, you could cook with it, but we are wanting to use it for skincare products, so that's why I'm doing this wet method 3 times to make it hopefully odorless and colorless. All right, it's been probably 2 or 3 hours now. Checking in on the tallow here. It's bubbling up nicely, releasing some of that smell. And one of the other reasons for the wet method is that you're letting it kind of cook like this for a long time, and so it's not burning because there's water in there with it. It's not just the oil getting real hot. So I'm gonna give it a stir. And we'll leave it for another couple of hours, and then we are gonna pull it out and let it solidify and let the tallow separate from the water. I can see some impurities kind of bubbling to the top, so I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but there are some brown spots kind of around the rim here, around the edge. So those will fall to the bottom once I get it out of the crock pot and let it cool down. And hopefully you guys will get to see how this works, because I already did it once and threw the brown stuff in the trash. So yeah, it doesn't look like it's very purified, which last time I got it, it didn't have any of the brown stuff. So that's why I only did it twice last time, I think. But then it still had the smell. I'm gonna give it a stir. We are gonna get it out of here soon. There is definitely still some water in there, but I want to get it out of here before all the water evaporates, because I don't want it to burn. All right, we've got it in a bowl. Gonna put this in a cool place for a couple hours, and then we'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, I think we had it in the crock pot for maybe 6 hours. Okay, now the tallow has solidified, and I have re-washed the crock pot again. And so we're gonna get this out of here. There should be some water underneath. It actually looks like there's a little bit of water kind of popping up around the edges here. So that means to me that there might be quite a bit of water underneath of this solidified piece of tallow that we're gonna break up. But that's okay, because we're doing it again. So if you've done the wet method, there's gonna be water, there's gonna be moisture. I don't think that's a horrible thing. I've done this quite a few times now, and the tallow keeps, if you do it like I'm doing, it still keeps for a year on the counter in a jar. So let's keep moving here. Just kind of push one side and see if it pops up there. Doesn't matter if it breaks, because we're gonna break it. And as you can see, maybe you can't see, there's water underneath. So yeah, it looked like, just because of the size and the shape of the bowl, there was quite a bit of water, so it started kind of pushing up around the edges. I set it on the front porch for a little while, and then I brought it back inside, and I'm guessing that that's kind of when that happened. Aha! Here we go. There is a rather large bit of brown there. So that is what we're looking for, guys. We are pulling out the impurities via the salt and the wet method. This is why we're doing this. So I'm going to scrape this off and just go put it in the trash. And we're gonna get this tallow back in the crock pot for a third wet render. This is the whole reason we're doing this. Do you see all that? That will prevent your tallow from being white and pure and odorless. Alright, so I've scratched all of that brown stuff off the back side there, and I did have to dig in a little bit to get it all. And now I'm going to put it in the crock pot here. See if you can turn with me. Break it up a little bit. It gets back to a liquid state a little faster that way. And then really, you can just rub this in, moisturize your hands. So this time around, I'm going to only add a little bit of water, maybe a cup or two, along with some salt. We are doing this for the third time, so I don't want quite as much water. So I'll show you this water here. Looks pretty cloudy. Once the tallow starts to get really clean, that water will be pretty clear, so we are not there yet. We're gonna let it warm up. We're gonna stir it. We're gonna leave it for a few hours and we will let it solidify once again. Actually let this set overnight. So hopefully lots of smelly things got out and the rest of the things will fall to the bottom with the water. This is our third time we will be letting this solidify. And I see some impurities there at the bottom already, so we'll see how clear the water is this time. We might have to do this a fourth time. This tallow was actually some of the most dirty tallow I've gotten from this farm, with it being already rendered by the meat packing place. We're back, and this has frozen nicely, or cooled, not frozen, cooled very nicely. It looks really great. So I'm excited to see what's going on with the water and the impurities. A little bit more difficult to get out, so that's telling me that there's not much water underneath. Here we go. Not much at all. Okay, and the water is pretty clear. So the last time after the second render, it was still pretty cloudy, and there's almost no impurities on the bottom of this puck. There's a few things here and there, which I don't know, that might even like be salt. So I will like lightly scrape that off, and then what I'll probably do is reheat this another time just to be able to get it to, you know, go into my jars pretty easily. I'll heat the jars up in the oven. Maybe I'll just get that going, show you guys that as well. But I'm just gonna rub this into my skin, all this extra goodness, because it's cold outside. Everything is drying up with all the heat blasting. We got a lot of snow today out of the blue, and I will say, I don't even think this has been like deep into homesteading life that we really like stumbled upon this as a moisturizer, as a use for moisturizer. I'll never go back. It's amazing. It's the only thing that really truly works for your dry skin in the winter time. Okay guys, here is the finished product. I have filled a largemouth quart jar here and a 4-ounce little container that I added some vanilla extract to, and that's what we've got. We did 2 pounds of tallow. That's what we started out with. This is going to cool down and solidify, and I've left this one totally unflavored, no essential oils, no nothing. That will be for me and the baby, and Rob uses that as well. And then I made a little one with vanilla for my sister for her to try out. So it's a long process. That's why I made 2 pounds. It'll last us quite a while, probably 6 months at least, and then I'll do it again. This is our jar full of solidified tallow balm. It looks awesome. There is nothing on the bottom, and I'm so excited to finally have that stocked back up. So over the next day or so, I will try to just stop by all these dishes and lather myself up with the residual tallow in there before I wash all these. I think that's the biggest headache in all of this, is the greasy dishes. I'll take it if I only have to do it couple of times a year. And we're gonna make some soap. That was one of the other reasons I needed to get some of this rendered. We're gonna make some bars of soap that have a little bit more of a manly smell for Rob. He loves soap and he wants it to smell like more like something he wants it to smell like. So I think that's the next thing. Maybe we'll video it. Have a great, beautiful day. I'm a little busy here. See you in the next one. Thanks for following along. Please like this video, share it with a friend, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you guys in the next one.